Hello and welcome to yet another episode of the Work in Progress podcast. I am your host, Colleta Macharia, and I'm a life coach and author of the book, How to Design Your Career Game Plan. A while back, one of the taps in our house had a leak. And the leak was so small that getting the tap fixed was somewhere at the back of my mind, but it was not exactly a priority because it was just dripping. But then that view changed when I put a bucket under the tap and left it there for a few hours. And when I came back, I realized that the bucket was almost half full. And that was a wake-up call for me to put some urgency into getting this tap fixed. Now, while the intention in the first place was not really to measure the amount of water that was going into the bucket, that visual brought to me the reality of how much water had gone to waste because that tap had been leaking for a few days. And I must say that I felt rather irresponsible for having dilly-dallied that long. And this to me was yet another reminder that little things, good or bad, can have a big impact in the long run. Peter Drucker, one of the greatest management gurus of his time, said that what gets measured gets managed. And I concur. When we measure or track or count things using whatever metric is appropriate, we are brought to the reality of how we are performing. And this helps us to review things and take measures so that we can correct whatever is not going the way we want it to go. Organizations use KPIs, key performance indicators, and they can be quantitative or qualitative, and these help them to see whether they are achieving success in going after the objectives that they've set out to go after. At an individual level, we use different ways of tracking the things that we do. For example, we wear fitness devices and smartwatches to help us track our fitness activities and even track the amount of calories that we are burning while we are at it. There's a time I took it a step further and started tracking the amount of calories I was consuming. And this to me was yet another wake-up call and a reminder that indeed numbers don't lie. There is a Swahili proverb that goes like this: haba na haba hujaza kibaba, meaning a little here and a little there, and the barrel will eventually fill up. This proverb is used mainly when encouraging people to contribute for a worthy cause or even put away some savings, no matter how little, because eventually those savings will grow and they will end up paying off in terms of interest. I like to use this proverb to remind myself that little steps taken in the right direction will eventually lead us to where we are going. Little steps taken consistently and repeatedly form a habit. And habits can form cultures. And as James Clear, the author of the book Atomic Habits, puts it, habits are the compound interest of self-improvement. And I concur. Indeed, little by little, the egg will walk. And that is something I learned in Ethiopia. And I will attempt to say it in Amharic. And if you're an Amharic speaker, do not get mad at me if I massacre your language. And here it goes. Kas pakas enkulal beguru yehedal. How did I do? Have an intentional week. Keep shining and see you on the next episode. The Work in Progress podcast is brought to you by Cogent Afrique. Visit www.cogentafrique.com to check out learning and development opportunities for you, your team, organization, and family.